Welcome to the channel. Bike day today. Reverend Dr. Jason W. Morrison, theologist. Thank you for joining me. Just a quick reminder, I'm not in the ministry, but I do like to share my years of experience and knowledge. Relationships. I don't think you should contend when you're in a relationship. If you're in a relationship and it's a matter of resolve, and it's not being met, you shouldn't have. Look at that beautiful view of you. Can you see those sailing boats out there? I don't know. Hopefully. You should in a relationship. That's not what it's about. Yeah, there's going to be hard times and stuff. That's not an issue. There's going to be parts where you need to adjust and adapt. But negligences are just a sign that the person doesn't have the value for you. Just trying to set that camera up now. Yeah, so negligences can range from not being on time to not answering phone calls. These are all red flags. If somebody's interested in you, you'll notice they'll come back to you. They'll play the game fairly. People that aren't, they'll muck you around, they'll screw you around, and you'll be chastising them, and they'll just keep you in enough to keep you interested if you're ignorant. And it's not what a relationship's about. A relationship's about health, happiness, healing, wholeness, power. Wow. Power, might, all those parts of a relationship make it worth it. Being there for the other person. If something comes up and you get challenged, resolving it or coming to an agreement that's going to be fair on everybody. Keeping outsiders outside the relationship where they belong, not letting intruders come into the privacy of it. Interfering family members, interfering children, and all this other stuff that can take. Just some pictures of some bikes for you while we're talking. A relationship needs to be protected, and it's sure to do that. That'll all come down to value. And let me just say, it's good to be a Christian and to have God on your side and all this sort of stuff, but you also need to be grounded. I always come back to this element that you have to be grounded as well. It's not all spiritual. There is an element where you have to be in touch on the ground with the relationship. Wow, some of these guys are pretty mad. And if you lose touch with what's happening on the ground in your relationship, things can get out of touch really quick. You'll have women come along that think you can solve their problems, but you can't. You can't solve other people's problems. That's not what it's about. And you need to come into your relationship very well aware of the fact that it's your responsibility to navigate it as fairly and as squarely as you can. If people come into your life and they've got issues going on that are just going to disrupt a healthy relationship and a happy one, let them go. They're not interested. They're not playing a fair part. They're not playing a fair part in the relationship. As a matter of fact, you'll probably find that they're just using you. That's what happens a lot of the time. And that's not really fair on anyone. when that happens. Because a relationship, as I said, it's about health, happiness, wholeness, being wise, being considerate, being thoughtful. And what I've found is when people that way, things disintegrate pretty quickly. And with disintegration of care and trust comes disintegration of attitude. And with disintegration of attitude comes disintegration of the relationship. A lot of these things will play out in the bedroom where it gets all careless and silly. And then people start to fall away. People start to lose tolerances. Value starts to get lost. But it doesn't have to be that way. You know, you should resolve things as you go along. If the other person's not willing to resolve, then you know they're not interested, and you have to have the courage to say, I'm just not prepared to waste my time. I don't want to waste my time with you. You come along and you said you were going to play a fair part, you wanted to be exclusive. Now you've got people interfering, or you're turning up late, or you're just not answering calls, or you're sitting and fiddling on your phone, or you've got an emotional affair going on the outside and you've caught them in it. All these things are built, all these negativities are usually built on unresolved. And unresolved can snowball, man. If you don't fix things and it just keeps getting worse and worse, you may as well get out at the first sign of trouble. Some of these people have come out of relationships where they haven't been chastised, they haven't had to deal with anything, they haven't been put in a position to improve. They've just been spoiled, completely spoiled. They don't know how to improve, they don't know how to resolve, they don't know how to maintain the value for the person that they're with. They just don't know how to do that. And so they'll go from one person to the next, starting with the love bomb, then slowly disintegrating as the relationship goes along until it ends up as nothing again. And they just cycle. They just cycle around and around and around and around. And they just leave a wake of destruction in their path. That's how it works. And you can't change that. That's just how they are. Now they call these people narcissists, but that's not necessarily so. They just can be immature, underdeveloped, not willing to grow, not willing to make the effort, the personal effort within themselves to develop and to grow. And what will happen is the people that they get caught up with will suffer. Because as they disintegrate in the relationship, which is their way of being, wow, that's a full carbon. Full carbon. Wow, holy shit. They'd be worth about $70,000, those motorbikes, maybe more. What happens is, because of their underdevelopment or immaturity, look at this classic BMW. The person that they end up with, or the people that they end up with, suffer as they disintegrate, because that's how they are. That's how they go in all of their relationships. Disintegrating. Now that's unfair if you're somebody that's willing to do the work. It really is. So unfair. But it happens all the time. And you have to become hardened to that. You have to become kind of tough. There's got to be an element of coldness in it all. Because as things deteriorate, you better be ready for it, or you're just going to get hammered. You're going to get hurt. So as you meet people and you travel down the road of relationship, if the person begins to deteriorate, you really have to have the discernment to know whether you should stay or whether you should go. That's how it works. And sometimes we stay in longer than we should. Oh wow, let's go have a look at this. Wow, I wonder what... Is that a Lambo? Let's go and have a look. Oh, it's a Ferrari, I think. Look at this car. Oh, this is great. So it's really important to be doing the work so that your relationships last longer. Look at this car, my God. Oh my God. Wow, it's a Ferrari. Wow. My gosh, look at this car. That's the real deal. Like, that's what these... Wow. If you do the work, okay, if you put in the effort, you'll be rewarded. And there's nothing better and nothing nicer, right, than turning up and being the Ferrari in your relationship. Okay, be the Ferrari in life. Don't just be a beat up old whatever. Come into your relationship and value it. Don't let things interfere in it. Get the full meat out of it for everything that it's worth. And be like this Ferrari on the inside. Be the best that you possibly can be. And from behind, look as good as you are from the front. Do the best that you can and receive the best that you can. These principles are gone now, and I'm asking you to retain them. Come back to the things that matter. Learn how to resolve. Don't let people interfere. Everybody loses out. You know, forget about alcohol and drugs and all that crap. That's just weakness. That spoils things. Be straight, be strong, be the best that you can be, and reap the rewards. Reverend Dr. Jason W. Morrison. Bye for now.